Hey there, MJ traders and investors. It's Rod with Pow Group. Welcome back on The Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, and interviews. Also home to the best MJ community on the planet. Today's Sunday. It's October 1st. Hope you're having a great weekend. It's a brand new month, brand new quarter. And in this video, we're going to be discussing the stock CuRaleaf and some news that they were selling some stock at $6 Canadian. This is to be expected whenever we have a multi-year bear market. Things are down 80, 90% plus. And then we see a huge reversal and momentum shift to the upside, and, 100, 200% off of the lows. That's generally when we start to see, these types of stock offerings, right? Whenever we start to see momentum shift back to the bulls after being beaten down for so long. And right now, with the way the economy is, cash is king, and the interest rates, cash is dwindling, right? So cash is king, and this it was to be expected in my opinion. But spoiler alert, there is a daily bear flag, which is saying we could go lower from here. But in my opinion, that'll just be buying opportunities after the monumental recommendation of Schedule 3 to reschedule from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3 by HHS, but still needs to get DEA sign off though. Before we get to all that and more, make sure to smash the like. It helps support me in the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. I would appreciate it very much. And if you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell, all that good stuff, and you'll be notified on any future live streams or when I post a new video. Also, make sure to give Pow Group a follow on X, which is previously Twitter. The handle for that is @GroupPow. Going to be using that as my platform of choice going forward. Again, the handle for that is @GroupPow. Also, looking good, Paul A. Shout out to Paul A. He did get his Team Canopy hat, looking real good. So if you want to score some POW merch, you can go to powmerch.ca and you can check it out. Who knows, maybe we'll get some CuRaleaf swag in the near future. Let me know in the comments below if you'd be interested in that. Also, if you haven't seen the video that I did recently on CuRaleaf, this was about 9 days ago. There was a monthly uptrend confirming and a huge bullish signal that was flashing. That was the Golden Cross. And we did have the monthly uptrend confirm, which puts CuRaleaf ahead of the pack, right? All of its peers still yet to confirm monthly uptrends for the most part. Producers in Canada, US, retailers in the US and Canada, and ETFs as well. And we did have a golden cross on CuRaleaf. Some other names are seeing golden crosses, but the more names that see golden crosses and monthly uptrends confirmed, the more confident we are in the sector, and all boats rising together and the bottom being in and potentially starting a new multi-year bull market after this brutal multi-year bear market. So let me know in the comments or smash the like if you're excited about that. But like I said, we'll take a look at the chart here in just a moment, and I'll show you that. If in case you missed it, I'll just give a quick update on the chart and that daily bear flag that's saying we could be targeting about $4, and that's Canadian. So here's the news. This came out September 28th in the morning. So I think a lot of this has been absorbed, but we can see a little bit of a delayed reaction though. And like I said, we do have the daily bear flag to be looking at, right? So it's not a guarantee. Technical analysis is just, probabilities, right? The odds we're going one way versus another way, and we can go up, down, or sideways. So as long as we have a plan for all. And again, this isn't financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. Full disclosure, I do hold CuRaleaf, and you should never buy or sell anything based on anything I say or write. So this is not financial advice. Do your own research, but I do hold CuRaleaf. It's my second biggest holding, and I'm going to be continuing to add it. And if we see this daily bear flag follow through, then I'll definitely be looking to score some more as well. But here's the news. CuRaleaf sells stock at $6 Canadian. So on September 28th, the company announced the pricing of its previously announced marketed offering of subordinate voting shares of the company at a price of $6 Canadian per offered security. Canaccord Genuity, who is acting as the sole underwriter and bookrunner for the offering, has agreed to purchase 2.7 million offered securities from the company for a total gross proceeds to the company of 16.2 million Canadian. The offered securities will be offered in each of the provinces of Canada other than Quebec, pursuant to a prospectus supplement to the company's base shelf prospectus dated December 30th, 2022, and in the United States on a private placement basis to qualified institutional buyers, pursuant to exemptions from the register. And this institutional buyers piece, there's going to be a lot more institutions start to pile in. And if you remember, there was a private placement, an institutional buy from into Canopy of 25 million. There was also into Columbia Care, which is now the Cannabis Co. And yeah, we're starting to see institutions start to pile in, and this is going to be a trend that's going to continue to grow and to show growth, right? And to show more institutions backing it. Because MJ, in my opinion, is entering a major growth phase where we're going to enter the blue chip phase, where we're going to see many MSOs acquire LPs, and we're going to see LPs acquire MSOs. Think of Canopy and Acreage. I think CuRaleaf could easily buy another company as well, potentially a Canadian company. So this is pursuant to the exemptions from the registration requirements of the United States Securities Act of 1933 and applicable state securities laws. The prospectus supplement is expected to be filed on September 28th 2023. The closing date of the offering is expected to be October 3rd, 2023. So that will be on Tuesday and will be subject to market and other customary conditions, including requirements of Canadian Securities Exchange. The company is making the offering to satisfy a condition required for the potential listing of subordinate voting shares on the Toronto Stock Exchange, TSX, and plans to use a portion of the proceeds of their offering to fund working capital requirements of its international business operated by CURLEAF Holdings International and for general corporate purposes of the company. So yeah, the fact that they're looking to get listed on the TSX, right? TerraSend did it as well as the first American company to do so. And this is just going to be a trend, again, that continues to get bigger. And like I said, CuReleaf, massive. I'm super bullish on this company long term. And like I said, I think, this is just a stepping stone. Think of the NASDAQ or the NYSE, right? A U.S. major exchange. And the Safer Banking Act was approved. It's going to a Senate floor vote. And then if passed there, then it goes to the House, which has already passed 7 times. But this time it's Republican controlled. But I don't think that's going to hold anything up. So there's a good chance that this could pass. And then also the government just extended. So Biden signed a 45-day funding bill to keep the government open. There was fears of a government shutdown, but the Senate passed it, the House passed it, and then Biden signed it into law. So that is crisis averted for the moment. And like I said, this is great for Safer Banking and MJ Banking because now we could potentially see this happen, and that gives us enough time to get this done before the end of the year. If it government shut down, I said that wouldn't have been bad because we might not get anything until the new administration in the election year in 2024 when the new admin comes in, right? So this is great to see. And then it's going to pave the way for uplisting to the NYSE and the NASDAQ. And then, like I said, if we get HHS recommendation from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3 signed off by the DEA, it's going to be all systems go. So this is great news. And as we know, Boris Jordan, the executive chairman and co-founder of CuReleaf, said that they've already paid over $350 million to the U.S. government under 280E tax code. If it gets rescheduled to Schedule 3, that goes away. And that $350 million would hit their bottom line, right? And then Boris Jordan even said that they'd already be paying a dividend if it wasn't for 280E. So let that sink in, right? So this is super bullish in my opinion. There's some, people look at dilution and stock offerings and they say this is never bullish. But at the end of the day, company is dwindling a little bit here on cash. If we take a look at the market cap, we're sitting at little over 4.4 billion. And then if we take a look at the statistics here, you can see here shares outstanding 631.09 million. And if we go down to the balance sheet, you can see total cash is at 85.02 million. So they're not sitting on a ton of cash, which again is going to be needed to get through, this bear market that we're going through. And once we get confirmation of the new bull market, then, and once they, if we get rid of 280E tax code, then think of all that, hundreds of millions of dollars that'll hit their bottom line. They'll have more cash than they know what to do with. And this could be one of the final, times that we really see offerings in CuReleaf, right? So I don't think it's a huge deal. And like I said, the stock didn't really react to it when it came out here on the 28th. You can see here it didn't even break the low of the previous day. But with that being said, all of this daily bounce is a very weak bounce. And we didn't even get over the 0.32 fib. So right now it's a daily bear flag. If you go from high to the low with your fib tool here, and then take your measured moves. So you take the trend line, you go from high to the low, you move that out to the 0.32 fib, and it says we could target about 4.25. So, and we could still see an EMA 12 and 26 bear cross, which would be bad. Look what happens when the yellow is below the red. The shorter term crosses the longer term. When the shorter term is below the longer term, that's bullish. And that's called a bull cross. And look what happened. Price skyrocketed. And if that's just chance, it just happened one time. Well, look what happened this time. Cross bullish, and we saw upside. Cross bearish, the yellow above the white, and we went down. Then we had a bull cross. Now what's happening? Same thing that was forming here. So where do you think we're more than likely going to go? And then you couple that with the daily bear flag. That's all technical analysis is adding confluences of multiple different signals and patterns and indicators, right? So if something has 8 out of 10 indicators saying that we're going down, well, we're probably going down. And then if 8 out of 10 of the indicators and signals that we normally follow are bullish, then we're probably going up, right? So as long as we have a plan, it's not a guarantee, it's just to have an edge, right? And right now it's saying we have 2 major indicators and patterns that are saying that we could go lower from here. We have the EMA 12 and 26 bear cross on the daily. We're not yet anywhere close to daily oversold, so we could be heading to daily oversold. And then we have the daily bear flag targeting low 425. And realistically, we have no support all the way down to 355. So a higher low in that area on the weekly time frame would not be out of the question, right? And that would just be a slight loss of EMA 26 here on the weekly time frame. And then this move's all coming off the low, so we still need to form our weekly higher low to be back in a weekly uptrend. So again, that favors a little bit more weakness in my opinion. But as I mentioned, we are in a monthly uptrend with the low, high, higher low, and higher high. So this is what we want to see. This is our low, our high or low compared to that low, and then our higher high compared to that high, right? So now we're in a monthly uptrend. What constitutes an uptrend? Higher lows and higher highs. What constitutes a downtrend? Lower highs and lower lows. So we're seeing Curaleaf kind of, acting as a bench, as a barometer for the rest of the names in the space. The more names that start to do this and follow suit and follow in the footsteps of Curaleaf, the better. But this is really, really good. And over the next few months, we could see a bull cross of the monthly EMAs, but they're ways away before we see those cross, which leads me to believe that we could see a little bit more weakness here short term. And then the broader market looking like we could see a little bit more short term as well. And some of the other names in MJ not looking too hot on the daily time frame either. So adding more confluence to the fact that we could see a little bit more downside from here. But we did close the week over the 10-week moving average, which is looking good. We are close to seeing a bear cross of the stochastic, which is a little concerning. And again, adding a little bit more to the bear case there that we could see a little bit short-term weakness. But like I said, in the end of October, into November, I think is when we're really going to kick into high gear, no pun intended. But we did also hold and close above the 50 weekly moving average there at 527. So we topped out at the 100 weekly. A lot of their names are starting to make their ways back to their 100 weekly moving averages and 200 weekly moving averages. Doesn't mean they're going to get there, in a couple weeks. It can take months when you're dealing with a time frame like the weekly time frame, right? But this is great to see, and more names can likely follow suit. And then take a look at the daily time frame. We had a golden cross occur with the 50-day moving average below the 200. They cross. When that happens, that's called a golden cross. So we're more than likely going to come back down and back test those EMAs, those moving averages, those MAs, which the 100 MA is at $4.55, which again lines up with that daily bear flag target of around 425. So we could very well see that happen, but it's looking really, really good here in terms of the daily time frame. Look what happened the last time the 50-day was below the 200-day and it crossed, and we had a golden cross. Price went from about $7 all the way up to $23. Then we had the death cross with the 50 above the 200. That's bearish. Price went from about $15 all the way down to the 3. Now we're even more beaten down than we were here this time than we were here. So it looks like we could see a massive rip and rally across the sector, and specifically in Curaleaf as well, into the end of the year. But smash the like if you're excited about that. Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments section below. Do you think we're going to see a little bit more short-term pain before we see a massive end-of-year rally? That's the side of the fence that I'm sitting on until things change. I'll keep everybody posted. You can subscribe, like I said, tick the bell, and you'll be notified on any future videos. Definitely going to be covering Curaleaf quite often. So like I said, it's my second biggest holding, super bullish on it long term, and I know a lot of you are as well. So we'll be definitely keeping tabs on it. So I'll keep you up to date. But thanks again for joining us in the Pursuit of Wealth. It's Rod with Power Group. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we shall see you on the next video.